Hello, guys. Today I'm going to speak about a new lesson that I've learned for myself. Also, I'm recording this video for myself to see or look back uh, on where I was and where I reached spiritually, mentally, and in thinking. So let's get into it. The lesson that I learned and what I understood is the phrase "I have overcome the world." That's written in the Bible. The things that I've experienced and from what I've come across is it what it actually meant, And I have a few notes that I'm looking at. That is, what it actually means is when you're on your purpose, and when you're doing your things, what you're supposed to do in this world, what will happen is the world will try to test your focus, or get you off track of where you're heading. So, when it says when you overcome the world, it means that none of the worldly things, for example, it would be food or women or alcohol or gambling, or it could be anything, anything that you like, or anything that you want to be, or anything that is your favorite kind of thing. It's not want to be, I would say. It's more sort of like anything that you enjoy. It's your escape route for yourself, that you use, from your purpose or whatever happens that you procrastinate about. This is kind of like that. If you can overcome those things, that's when you are more in tune with yourself, and are able to get things done and more focused on the things that needs to be done. So there are simple things that I have learned. I mean, over the years I have seen it for myself, but I've looked at those things. Did consider those things as what they are, but never understood it in a different perspective. And now I kind of understand it, what it actually means. And what I can tell you from experience is that about the three monkeys, that say, see no evil, do no evil, and hear no evil. So what happens is when you are focused in your mind and you are onto a goal, there will be people who would be like putting you down, or like, saying things that you might be not capable of things, or things like that, And what happens is if this comments or this negative stuff comes from someone close to you, or someone that is friends with you, or anyone that is like that you consider their opinion, then what happens is it gets it to your mind, So when the phrase is said, I have overcome the world, that means, everything that is being thrown at you, you literally filter it, You don't let it get to your mind at all, or your heart. It's more sort of like it bounces off you. And it happens only because you are really focused on your mind. And it's like, it's kind of very written in Bible kind of thing, It says when Abraham said, my mind is on God. So it's kind of like you have to keep your mind on God, and you do what you're supposed to do as your purpose in life, and then move from there. The second thing what I've written down is it's as I said, keeping your focus on the things that you care about, and are able to do. You have to keep your focus for the things that you care, so that you are be able to do things for others, So if you give time for yourself, you make time for others as well when you get your things done. And being on purpose is easy as it sounds. It's not easy as it sounds. It is, but when you put into play, or when you are on to it, there will be distractions, And how you prevent those distractions by being self-disciplined, and like resisting things. It could be very simple as the food that you eat. You could be sitting in a place and you are avoiding some food, which you are addicted to, or the escape route for procrastination, And there would be literally someone who's sitting beside you and eating the same food that you like, and your self-control has to be resisting that, even though you are smelling it, which happens sometimes to crave for it, you know. So addictions literally start like that. Yeah, when you are stopped, for people who are smoking or drinking, you could be literally sitting beside someone who is smoking or drinking, and you could smell that, and that could give sensory reactions to your body, thinking that you want it too. But the control of you not accepting it from the senses or accepting it to your mind, that's what is the main thing about, you know, when it says, I have overcome the world. Another thing, what it's basically like God is like testing your integrity, and also it's kind of like trials and tribulations, as it says, you know. It's kind of like testing to see whatever evil or challenges that are thrown at you, how would you overcome it? Or are you just going along with it, going hand in hand with it, or are you just learning how to overcome it by resisting it? And when I say resisting, it's not by forcefully resisting it. It should be calmly resisting it, as in there's literally a choice, you know, where you could do those things or you don't. And yet, so as I was saying, those things would be a test, you know, that could be coming your way, and that can be used against you from where you're going or who you're becoming. When I say it could be anything, you know, anything that can be thrown against you to see your capabilities of resistance. And as I said, it cannot be done if you're resisting it forcefully, you know. It has to be calmly resisted, as in there is a fine line between the choice. I mean, the choice what you have should be in a fine place where you can decide. There's like a time frame where you can decide, oh, if I just lean in a little bit on the right, I would get into that addiction, or go with that decision. But if you are just leaning on the left, I wouldn't be able to resist it. And that is kind of like a personal choice that you have. And as I said, it's kind of like the self-discipline and self-control over yourself, and really, really understanding the things from a deeper point of view. So when you actually understand it and have a strong will, like internal will, or there is a word that goes by it, which I had learned was, the word is inner locus of control. Once you are able to handle the inner locus of control, that's when you master yourself, you know, and then that's when you master of who you become. You know, as simple as I could say, these evil things could come your way, and it could try to influence you in a way that from the closest people that you have. And when they use that influential techniques or things to grab your attention, what I would suggest is, before you even go into that conversations, you know, you would know it yourself. Because when you ask for wisdom, you are blessed with wisdom, you know. And from my experiences, for what I've learned, it's kind of like God is teaching you those things so that you know how to interact with the world. Because those things which are coming at you from different directions are already like learned. You already learned those things through some guidance. And that's when you know, when they come at you, you know how to control it, or you know if you have to play with it, or you have to just, you know, don't give any attention to it at all. Because as it says, when you give your attention, the energy flows. So that's all I have to say today. I'll just keep this as a record.